an important point, Madam Speaker, ma'am, regarding our pension funds, that 50% of them are inactive. I can assure him that I've asked IPEC to look into this.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me jettison on another issue, which is to do with the pension funds. Mr. Speaker, from the budget statement, the Honourable Minister indicated that there are 971 pension fund companies. Of those 971 pension fund companies, 483 are non-active. So, if they are not active, what measure has been taken by the Ministry to ensure that pensioners are protected? I think it worries me, Mr. Speaker, where half of our pension companies are inactive. It defies logic for me. Not only that, on the same token, there is this provision for the prescribed asset status, where government seeks to take capital from the pension funds to use on its prescribed assets. So in that case, it appears that there is low uptake, because the one which is authorized by government is to say 20% of resources owned by these pension companies must go for prescribed assets. But there is an uptake of around 9% or so. What it means that the pension companies are not willing to participate in these programs. So the question that comes is, are these prescribed assets, adjusted inflation returns, adjusted risk returns, are they positive to the extent that it benefits pensioners? Maybe that's the reason why there is low uptake from the pension funds.
An important point, Madam Speaker, ma'am, regarding our pension funds, that 50% of them are inactive. I can assure him that I've asked IPEC to look into this issue. They're looking into it to make sure that it is dealt with. They are the delegated regulator, delegated from me, so they are dealing with that matter. Let me report on it maybe in the next budget in November, or prior to that I'll be able to give an update. On the issue of prescribed asset, on progress on that pension funds and institutions are at 9%, well below target. This is also correct. Let me explain, Madam Speaker, that prescribed assets are not necessarily government projects. These are projects out there from, most of the time it's entrepreneurs. In fact, 99% of the time it's entrepreneurs who are driving these projects, but we feel as government, in fact, they also apply to us, but we feel that these are important projects that will be transformative, that are developmental, that will create jobs, and so forth and so forth. So we support them and give them this prescribed asset status so that our pension funds and institutions can follow up and invest in them. And his concern is that 9% is rather low. I also agree with him, it's low, and it should improve. What's happening is that I feel that the supply of requests, the request for prescribed asset status is rather low. Maybe last time I was speaking to a few business people, they didn't even understand what it meant. I said, look, once you have that kind of status, prescribed asset status, it makes it easier for pension fund to fund your project. I said, okay. He said, what it means? I said, that's what it means. So just knowledge, information out there is critical for us to disseminate to the public, to the investor community. I think we will see an increased supply for this status, increased demand rather for this status. It's not about returns. I can assure you, it's not about returns at all. Most of these projects are actually very good projects, mainly in the solar energy space. With very good returns in solar energy, I can assure you. So that is not the issue. It's about information. I think that's really the biggest problem. The positive thing is that Honourable Madzivanyika is happy with the macroeconomic stability. So that was the positive point. But he seemed to have some concerns about interventions by the monetary authority and so forth. But it's the job of the monetary authority to keep some order in any market. It's normal. It's absolutely normal. But I can assure him that if you look at you consider the current reserves, Madam Speaker, gold in the main converted to US dollars, if you just take that and convert it to ZiG, you find that it far outweighs the amount of ZiG in circulation. So he shouldn't worry about whether this could cause challenges for the currency or not. There's no problem there at all. And part of this intervention in terms of sale of US dollars in the market supports the market. The market needs the US dollars for importation purposes. So this is actually proper monetary sector management by the central bank.